Dear esteemed members of the jury, my name is Haider Eid, and I am an associate professor of literature and cultural studies at what used to be Al-Aqsa University in Gaza. And I'm speaking to you right now from Johannesburg, South Africa. I spent the first 2 months of the genocide in Gaza itself, where I was displaced 3 times. And after being evacuated by the South African embassy in Ramallah in December 2023, I went from Gaza to South Africa via Egypt. And South Africa has become my 4th displacement. And I want to begin by stating that it is extremely difficult to find an appropriate word that can describe and encompass the horror of what is happening in Gaza other than evil, an absolute evil, devoid of even the most minimal restrictions, controls, and deterrents, which, however superficial, sometimes succeed in curbing the savage evil that lurks beneath the surface and limiting its manifestations. This is an evil devoid of all frameworks and explanations that justify and rationalize its consequences and find excuses for it after the fact itself. Israeli political and military leaders have deliberately unleashed a genocidal war to wreak havoc on Gaza, my hometown, Gaza City, and I myself was born in the Nusayrat refugee camp, making Gaza unlivable, literally unlivable. Israel has severely punished Gaza's population, especially women, children, and the elderly, for daring to challenge its colonial invincibility. I was in Gaza when the deadly hermetic siege of 2006 was imposed and was meant to punish us Palestinians for voting against the Oslo Accords, for voting against the two-state solution, for voting for resistance in all its forms, or rather, as I said, for voting against the Oslo Accords and the so-called two-state solution. Even as the Israeli onslaught continued unabated over the years, it was 17 years later that October 7th presented Israel with the perfect opportunity to take its historically punitive approach towards Gaza to horrific, unprecedented new levels. The personal loss, and I'm supposed to be telling you about my personal experience, and I'm saying it very, very clearly, and I'm not in the habit of doing that. The personal loss has been too tremendous even to grasp. Personally, I have lost 54 relatives, cousins from the Eid clan. And I have lost 39 colleagues from Al-Aqsa University. And I have lost more than 280 students from our university, including some of my best students, literature students. And I also have lost all my belongings, my flat, my neighborhood, my family home, my children's school, and my university. 2 days before the implementation of the so-called ceasefire, Trump's Gaza plan, I had received a message from a friend who is still in southern Rimal, or rather what used to be Tell al-Hawa. He wrote it while the Israeli genocidal forces were decimating Gaza City. And I want to quote what my friend sent to me. He said, "The world feels exceptionally dark tonight, and I am struggling to breathe, to stand, to think. I feel like I'm floating through space, like I have lost my footing. Ask any other Gazan, and they likely feel the same. Utterly hopeless and bereft of words to describe this hell. This hell we are witnessing and that my family is experiencing right now. Our city, our beloved Gaza, our defiant Gaza that refuses to play by anyone's rules. Now, compare that to the percentage of children dead in the Ukraine conflict, which is 0.3%. And I want to quote also another South African, Navi Pillay, chair of the United Nations Commission of Inquiry on the occupied Palestinian territories, including Eastern Jerusalem. Last month, she had this to say: "The goal of the Israeli government is abundantly clear: the destruction of life in Gaza. There's an escalating collective hysteria in Israel against everything Palestinian, which is a reflection of the ongoing racist implementation of Zionist ideology, as previous speakers have said. The implementation of Zionism on the ground since 1948. This ongoing genocide can be traced back to 1948. I am a son of refugees from the Zanuga village, which was ethnically cleansed back in 1948. Both my parents died in 2005, dreaming of the day when the United Nations Resolution 194 would be implemented, when they would be allowed to return to Zanuga. That unfortunately did not happen. The fact that Israel is a settler colonial state essentially means that, like any other settler colonial state, it is based on either the total extermination of the indigenous population and or ethnic cleansing. Thank you so much.